Hi, Michelle here from My Kids Time. We're just doing the Ask My Kids Time slot on a Thursday. And this week we've had a question in from a parent about how they can help their reluctant reader and encourage them to get reading. So I suppose the first thing to say is, what is a reluctant reader? So the term is given to or used to describe children who read but have little or no interest in reading outside of what they have to do for school. And I mean, reading is a real joy, and if you can encourage your child to read and help them to gain a love of books, it's a really great thing, because it's an escapism. It's a way for them to get better comprehension, better vocabulary, help with their imaginations, and generally help with their education as they go through life. So a few ways that we can help, or that we at My Kids Time have spoken to authors and booksellers and people over the years, and we've come up with a list of 20 tips for helping your reluctant reader. I'll go through a few of them now, and after this I'll post up a link to the blog post, and also post a link to our book section, which has a list of classic books, books for children by age, help your children to learn outside of school, not just reading but other things. Also reading apps. In this world of technology, there's a lot that can be done online to help your children too, and there's some great apps that you can access and give your children access to encourage them to read. So I suppose the first thing would be, when children are really young, reading to them, sharing a book with them before they go to bed is really important, and a really nice way to kind of end the evening and get them ready for bed, calm them down, and just have a bit of me time with them. And as your child grows and becomes more confident, a good way to encourage them to start to read themselves is to ask them to read you a bedtime story rather than you reading them one. So I suppose this is for children who have started school, have a bit of knowledge about reading, but of course you can help them to learn words, and if they stumble over, encourage them to read themselves and to sound out the words phonetically. But another good way is to just help them if they're stumbling over a word. Another tip we have is to lead by example. So if you enjoy reading, let your children see that. Let them know that you love books, and if they see you reading, it might encourage them to read too. The other thing, especially with boys, non-fiction seems to be really popular. So don't always go for fiction books. It's a good idea to pick up some non-fiction books. And even if these have big images and, not so much text, if it's something that they enjoy or a subject that they enjoy, it will encourage them to read. The other thing is to know their hobbies, their likes, their dislikes, and encourage them to read books or buy books or borrow books from the library that are around the subject matters that they enjoy. So be it sport, horses, it could be spy stories, it could be really wild imagination stories. Another good way to encourage reluctant readers is, if there's a film that they really enjoy, see if you can get hold of the book that's for the film, or if there's a film coming out in the year, you could get the book first and say, let's read through it and learn about it before the film comes. That can sometimes encourage a reluctant reader. Comics as well, having comic books around can help them. I mean, really, if they're reading anything, that's what you want. So if comics are your child's thing, there's no problem with that. It doesn't always have to be books. The other thing is to let them choose their own books. So bring them with you when you're choosing books. I mean, you can get advice. It's a great idea, especially as your child grows. I know with my teen, the issue is that she wants to read everything, but some things aren't so suitable. So getting advice from the bookstore or from somebody who works there is a really good idea. And obviously we've done some research around what books are suitable for children, and I'll post up links to that afterwards. Another good way to encourage reading is to leave, joke books and things lying around that the kids might be encouraged to pick up and read and share with friends. The other, let me just see what else is on our list here. So build their stamina. So basically, once they start to read, don't just let them read the same series of books. I know it's really easy to get hooked on the same series, but it's a good idea if you can find something similar, and get them to read those as well, and go up a level every time. So try and encourage them to read slightly more difficult books every time they read, and this will help towards building their confidence. You can buy books with larger print. That was one of the ideas that one of the parents sent into us, is that they're not overwhelmed by the amount of words on a page. If words are really small and there seems to be lots of them, it can overwhelm them. So choose books with larger print can help. Well-written books by established authors as well is really important. There's lots out there that isn't so great, but if you can get books, maybe award-winning books, have a look at, Bisto do the awards list every year. There's you can find lots and lots online about award-winning books and books that other kids have liked. And don't forget the classics. I know from Jill did a reading there a while ago on the Enchanted Tree, the Enid Blyton. And the old books, the children still love them. My daughter, for instance, has read all my Mallory Towers books, and also Claudine and St. Clair's. So don't forget the old classics. Children do still like them. It's a good way to get them to read. And don't put pressure on them. Really, you wouldn't like if somebody was constantly asking you, what are you reading now? How are you getting on with that? Let them come to you, discuss the books with them. It's a good idea to discuss books with them and make it part of your day, but don't put pressure on them always to read. And praise them when they finish a book. Tell them that you're really proud of them, and ask them what they'd like to do, what book they'd like to read next. And the other thing is, one trick that a parent shared with us was to market books. So if you know that your child would like a particular book, you could say to them, I'm not sure that book's suitable for you, and you'll have them running to get it, because anything that's not suitable for us, we all love. Let's face it. So I hope that's been helpful. I'll post up some links after this, and I'm offline now. We'll be offline for next week because it's midterm here in Ireland and I'm going away. So I hope you enjoy the break, and I will be back to you Tuesday week with a craft or something for the kids to do. Okay, take care. Thanks. Bye.